She fit in the palm of my hand. That was the first thing I noticed. Not her color, not her tiny face, not even the way she was already scowling at me like I had personally offended her. Just how impossibly small she was. I could feel her heartbeat against my fingers, this rapid little flutter. And I remember thinking, this is too fragile. This is too small to survive. I almost said that out loud. I am glad I didn't. She had been found without a mother. No one knew exactly what happened. One day she was just there, this tiny orange thing, eyes barely open, already acting like she had opinions about everything. Someone reached out to me, said they didn't know what to do with her, that they were worried. I said I'd take her. I didn't even think twice. I just said yes and figured I'd deal with whatever came next. I had absolutely no idea what I was agreeing to. But looking back now, I think I made the best decision of my life in about 4 seconds flat. The first night, she wouldn't stop crying. Not a soft, delicate little sound, a full, indignant scream, like she was furious at the world for putting her in this situation and she needed everyone to know about it immediately. I sat on the floor, right next to her, talking in a low voice, trying to convince her that everything was going to be okay. She did not seem convinced. Every single time I pulled my hand away, even for a second, the screaming started again, louder, more offended. So I just stayed. I sat there on the floor with her, and I stayed. I didn't sleep much that night. I kept watching her chest rise and fall, making sure it kept doing that. I'd lean close and just listen. Every time she made a sound, even a small one, I felt this wave of relief move through me. She was still there. She was still fighting. That was enough for that night. She had this expression even as a kitten, brows furrowed, eyes wide, mouth slightly open, like she was perpetually about to make an important announcement that no one had asked for. She looked permanently unimpressed with the world, permanently suspicious of my intentions. I started calling her Mango before I even realized I was doing it. It just fit. She was orange and loud and a little intense, and somehow the name arrived before I had time to think about it. If you are already rooting for this little girl, hit subscribe. More stories like this one every single week. The first few weeks were not easy. She was so small that even the gentlest handling felt risky. I had to be careful about everything. Temperature, how often I fed her, how I held her, how I moved around her. There were days when she seemed more tired than usual. Days when her energy dipped and she would just sit quietly in one spot. And I would find myself watching her more closely than I probably should admit. The photos from that time show it clearly. She looks worn, a little rough around the edges, like something small that had already been through far more than it should have at that age. There were moments when I genuinely was not sure which direction things were going to go. I would sit with her in the evenings and just talk to her. Not because I thought she understood every word, just because I needed to fill the silence with something warm. I told her she was doing great. I told her she was stronger than she looked. I told her I was not going anywhere, no matter what. She would stare at me with that wide, dramatic face and then make a sound that was somewhere between a complaint and a declaration. I know. Keep up. But she was stubborn. That is the thing about Mango. Even when she was clearly struggling, there was this energy underneath it all, this refusal to just give in. She did not quit, not once. She never even considered it. And every single morning when I woke up and found her still there, still breathing, still absolutely furious about something, I felt this quiet gratitude that I still do not have the right words for. Slowly, things shifted. Her appetite came back first, then her energy, then the personality, which, let me tell you, was enormous for something that small. She started climbing things she had absolutely no business climbing. She started voicing strong opinions about meal timing that were, frankly, a little aggressive. She discovered that if she sat directly in front of my face and stared at me long enough, I would eventually do whatever she wanted. She was not wrong about that. By the time she had fully settled in, Mango had established a very clear set of house rules. She gets the good spot on the couch. She gets first consideration on anything that smells interesting. She gets attention on demand, and the demand comes frequently and without warning. If I am on my phone too long, she puts her paw directly on my hand and holds it there until I look at her. If I move to another room, she follows me and sits in the doorway like a tiny, extremely judgmental security guard who is not impressed with where I chose to go. She takes her job very seriously. If this story made you smile even once, drop a comment below. It genuinely means more than you know. She still has that face, that wide-eyed, slightly outraged expression, like the world is constantly failing to meet her very reasonable standards. People see her photos and always say the same thing. Why does she look like that? Like she is perpetually in the middle of receiving disappointing news about something she cared about deeply. I have stopped trying to explain it. That is just Mango. That is her face. That is her whole personality compressed into one expression. And honestly, I would not change a single thing about it. There are moments, usually late in the evening, when the house gets quiet, when she will come find me on her own. No agenda, no complaints. She will climb up, settle in, and just sit there. Her weight against me, her slow, steady breathing, the occasional slow blink that cats do when they feel completely safe and have no reason to be anywhere else. And in those moments, I think about that first night, how small she was, how uncertain everything felt, how I kept watching her chest just to make sure it kept moving. She made it. She more than made it. She turned into exactly who she was always going to be. Dramatic, demanding, a little ridiculous, and completely, irreversibly mine. She did not just survive those first weeks. She decided, somewhere along the way, that she was going to own this life, fully, without apology. And she does, every single day, without exception. Now, she runs this house with complete confidence and zero self-doubt. I just live here and pay the bills. I keep wondering about something. Do you think cats like Mango know somewhere deep down that they were saved? Or do they simply wake up every single morning completely convinced they were always truly meant to be exactly this loved?